Right. We're actually live now. So,
Alrighty.
uh, the big news today, and I know we're like way later than everybody else, but maybe that's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
is that they tried to kill Trump. It actually
Jeez.
happened.
Yeah,
And
I just found out like literally maybe 15 minutes ago. I don't know what time the rally was. It looked like it was daytime, so I'm assuming it happened earlier. But I was out and about, just got home,
yeah,
saw that. I was just like, oh damn.
yeah. My
Oh my
my
goodness.
uncle called me first,
Yeah.
and tomorrow's my birthday, so today I'm having a birthday party,
Oh wow.
and
Happy
he
birthday.
calls me during my party, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, they rushed Trump off the stage. That kind of thing has happened before, and
Right.
it's not good, but it was never like a big deal. So I'm like, all right, thanks for letting me know. I'll check it out.
Right.
And then I go check it out, and he's got blood on his face. His
Right.
ear, like, I don't see it as people keep saying it like took off part of his ear, but I don't see it that way. It looks
I don't
bloody.
know. Yeah.
Um,
I don't
and some
know.
people are saying he got shot in the torso. That it looks like there could be a bullet shot, but
I just
who knows?
saw
He's definitely
one
wearing
post
armor.
like that. Yeah, I just saw one post that said like he was wearing armor, but they think he got shot in the chest too. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I saw what happened. Like I was just in like a chat room or something, and I saw a picture of just the two blood on his face, and I was like, "What?" I had no context. I was like, "What the heck is that?" So I go to
right.
Google and just type in Trump, and then I start seeing all the mainstream media, and of course they're all saying like Trump injured in incident. No one's like really jumping. They're trying to be very careful about what they say and stuff. But and I jumped on Twitter's been a great news source. Like everybody's just like sharing up to date information about. I've been seeing the like all kinds of stuff. Basically, I'll let you take it from here as far as what direction you want to go next, because obviously there's a lot of information flooding in.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find out. Like, I just saw that I'm streaming to Facebook, but for some reason the privacy said only me. Well, that's not good. I just changed it.
It's 9 o'clock.
So that other people could like see it. I
Right.
just made it public. I don't really care. I was gonna do
That's
friends,
fine.
but I just
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's all good.
but yeah, no, I mean, we're probably seeing all the same stuff on Twitter, on YouTube.
Right.
Like pretty much every commentator that I follow did an emergency live stream to talk about
Mhm.
this. Patrick
Yeah.
David, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, like they're all streaming right now.
Right.
Did you hear? So they said, despite the assassination attempt today, Trump plans to go to the UFC fight tonight.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was part of his plan. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so I guess he was already going, but now he's just like, yeah, I'm still gonna go, but he's gonna go with a bloody ear, and like, they're gonna make an event out of it. Like at the UFC, you can't
Oh
just.
my god, dude, the energy is crazy. The energy is crazy, and it's going to continue to be crazy. This is just insane fuel to the fire that is Trump 2024. Oh my goodness.
Were you already voting for Trump before this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for most people who are sane, it's like either definitely Trump. Maybe some people are trying, like I don't know. Sometimes people are like, I'm going to vote for third party, or I'm not going to vote, or something right in. But no, I think it's definitely Trump. Like,
oh, here's some breaking news. Trump finally posted on Truth Social, so I'll read it out loud.
Yeah.
He said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead." I could just hear him saying it. Nothing known right now about the shooter.
No, he's dead.
He's now dead like a dog.
He died like a dog.
Yeah. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening.
Yep.
God bless America. He didn't mention any shot to the torso. I can't tell if that's a.
Yeah, if he didn't mention it, it probably is just like a picture, basically like a button on his shirt or something. Like, yeah, because I mean, I heard 5 shots were fired. It looked like he's got 2 different marks on his face. It could just be blood from the one.
Yeah, and it could have wiped, because the blood on his face doesn't look like it's coming out of any kind of gash. It's just like a line, like 2 lines.
Grazed. Yeah, so it could have been 1 or 2 that did it. But yeah, my first impression was that like the shooter was like someone very close, like in the crowd. But the more information I'm seeing is like this guy with a rifle on a roof farther away, And of course, like the biggest thing we're hearing is that there were these people who saw him like 2 or 3 minutes in advance and were trying to warn everybody, the police and everything. And there was just like a lot of weirdness there. So that's another big thing that's being kind of uncovered.
Yeah. Dusty Deaver shared a tweet and had like an overhead view of the map. It looks like the shooter was about 150 to 170 yards.
Okay. Yeah. It's like on a building.
It's like
barn.
it's like 1.5 football fields, which is pretty far, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he was a bad shot because, I mean, he didn't miss very much.
Yeah. I mean, I've done some shooting with hunting rifles and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it can be tough, like especially depending on what kind of. He was laying down, he was prone, so he would have had like some kind of like bracing or whatever. But and obviously you've got like wind. Well, I don't know how much wind and projectile motion and stuff like that really matters at that distance. But
I don't know, but like obviously, I mean, what's crazy to me is Biden spoke, right, and they asked him if he's willing to call it an assassination attempt, and he said, "We don't have all the facts." He's like, "I have an opinion, but I want to wait for the facts." And it's like a dude pointed a gun at the former president's head and shot. How is that not an assassination attempt?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see it. Like, I can kind of see them being careful. Like, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, a lot of the you got to understand too. Like, a lot of the information we are getting is from like just very raw, like eyewitness contacts, different stuff. Like, it's still materializing. There's probably like official police reports and stuff that need to happen. So I mean, people in those positions do need to be careful, but still, you can also see how it's
this is what dialing things back is about. If for some reason you call it an assassination attempt and then we find out differently, you say, well, I guess I was wrong. No big deal.
Well,
but I don't like this. Yeah. I think this is a virus that has completely taken over the brains of many Americans and many people in the West, which is this data-driven approach to everything. You can't claim what you notice with your own eyes and your own rationale because the data hasn't confirmed it yet. Like, that's insane, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like you were saying, like he could say it's an assassination attempt and then roll it back later if it turns out that that's not the case. But that's obviously like you got to be very careful because whenever you come out and say it's an assassination attempt, that's very, that's very strong.
What do you call it when somebody points a gun at the president's head and tries to shoot at him?
Well, like for example, like let's say even as I was just discovering this information just a minute ago, I was only getting pieces of information. Like I didn't know, like, okay, what was happening? Was there just shooting happening in general and he got shot, or is that what started it? Or is it only being pointed at him? I agree. If you have the information, like if you're 100% sure that Trump was shot at and was injured by a bullet being shot at him, I mean, there's even still some room to like, oh, it was just a shooting.
No, but see, that's the weird thing. It's like everything about this says assassin. Like basically, it would have to be a miracle.
I agree with you.
Not to be an assassination attempt. So just call it what it is.
I agree with you.
The problem, we don't call things what they are. We wait for the experts to tell us it's okay to call it what it is.
Well,
and I'm done with that. I've been doing that for years.
I just think it's a little bit different. Like, number one, I obviously, knowing the information we have now, 100% assassination attempt. But depending on how much I'm assuming Biden would have had a lot of that information, and maybe he's still just trying to be careful or whatever. And I get where you're going. You're trying to say like it falls in this larger category.
He probably knows more than we do.
Yeah.
So I don't get why he can't. And you know what? Fine. If he wants to say, hey, look, I want to wait for the facts, but I have an opinion. Well, then tell us your opinion, dude. You're the president. What do you? Why even stand up and address us if you're not going to tell us anything?
Yeah, I did see his official statement or whatever too, or just the White House statement. It was just like, we're praying, like we don't condone it, that kind of thing. So that's good to hear, at least.
Yeah, but you know how that reads to me, right? It just reads as like the thing you're supposed to say.
Of course, yeah, of course. Which is, what can be expected? Can you really expect Biden or anybody to go beyond that and to be really like, oh my God, like they're just going to stick to the books,
Yeah. Apparently, I got 4 people on Facebook tuned in. By the way, oh, cool. I just switched over to the live chat. Joe Ferrucci, man, how's it going? And my cousin, Brian. Yeah. Anything else is just gaslighting. Yeah, I think Tyler is obviously on the same page that it was clearly an assassination attempt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm going to push back because I don't even like hearing like, well, there might be a case to not say it. No, I would right now just be like, kudos to Joe Biden if he was to just be honest once.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what information he had, honestly. Like that's what it comes down to, like even assuming he had all the information, like, okay, Trump was shot. We found the shooter. He was taken out. If he had all that information and he was still negligent to call it an assassination attempt, I think that is something that should get some pushback. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but and I guess not to drag it out, but like if Trump was killed, I think he would have called it an assassination, not attempt, obviously. But that's like, what's the difference? Like you point a gun at somebody, you shoot it, like you tried to kill you. I'd be honest, even if they were aiming for Trump's legs, I would call it an assassination attempt because you don't point a gun at somebody without trying to kill them. Like that's just, how it is.
Yeah, the only other possible explanation would be like, oh, there was a shooting in general. And that's how they're trying to portray it. They're almost trying, if you read the mainstream, like CNN is one of the first ones I read.
Yeah.
They're trying to say, oh, a shooting incident, and Trump happened to be injured. So I'm asking the question, okay, was he even being shot at? Was he the target or what?
It escalated. So the initial reporting was Secret Service tackles Trump. No, what was it? It was something about, they said something about Trump falling. Like, I'm not even kidding. The headline said
I wondered that too. When I saw the blood on his face, I'm like, did he just fall and hurt himself, or was he actually being shot at? Like, I have no idea.
But then they elevated it and they did what you said, which was like, there were gunshots at the Trump rally, which doesn't sound like that somebody was trying to shoot Trump.
Right.
And now finally CNN says Trump shooting being investigated as an attempted assassination. That's their headline now, finally.
That's how they always do it. They definitely will not concede until they absolutely have to. They try to keep it ambiguous and try to spin. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things to pay attention to going forward is how the media and the left reacts to this. Of course, like you said, a lot of them are going to go through the motions and say, well, we don't condone violence. But, one thing I wanted to talk about is like, I'm already seeing memes posted by people I know and out there, people who are saying what's the meme? Like basically insinuating that people are upset that the person missed. There's already leftists posting this. Like people I know and stuff are basically saying we're upset that they missed. Like that's it, and that shows you that this is not just some one-off crazy person. This is literally the manifested will of a large majority of these people who are sick in the head, and they don't have any competency for actual solutions. All they think is just Trump bad, destroy. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been following all this stuff for years. Like I remember Kathy Griffin holding the bloody Trump head up.
And she didn't even get like banned or anything for that. Like that was totally fine.
She had her whole career kind of ruined over that, honestly.
Well, but it wasn't because of like big tech and the left, though. It was because of the reaction of like the riot or the sensible people.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it was the other way around, like if it was one of our guys holding up a Biden head, it would have been, that would never be allowed.
Yeah. Definitely double standards.
Brian says, more importantly, the black community already looks at him as improving his street cred. Yeah. I saw a meme post that said, if you don't vote for Trump, you ain't black, making fun of what Biden said.
Right. I saw one. I don't get the exact reference, but it's like his face on like some kind of gangster's body. I'm sure it's some reference to a song or something, but yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that angle.
So you see that really good image with the flag flying over him, and he's like got the blood on his face with his hands up.
Yeah, I said it as my cover photo already. It's fucking legendary.
Oh, let me see if I can get it up here. Actually, photo one, because it's not very, I can't just drag and drop, unfortunately. But let me see.
Yeah.
Media. I'm gonna put it up on the screen if I can, and I'm gonna ask you what you think. Epic. Create graphic. All right. Do you see it up on the screen? I wish I could make it bigger, but do you see it up on the screen?
Yep, it's good enough.
You know what I don't like about that photo?
What?
Why is there a woman Secret Service? Get her out of there. That is terrible.
I thought the same thing because like when they're all circled around him, they're all like taller than him or tall enough to be blocking him, but she's like literally in the front and she's too short to like even be like protecting him. It's like, okay, that's silly. Diversity higher.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Something's so wrong with our country if you've got women physically protecting the president of the United States.
So,
from
okay,
gunshots.
so on that same note about the potential incompetency of the Secret Service, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff about this already. Like if you look at those, like you said, those sky view images of the area, it's literally like looks pretty rural. Like the dude was on top of like a barn or something, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how is there not like a helicopter or people checking every rooftop, or like there's just no way. There's no way. Like there's
Yeah,
some fishy happening here.
From like inside the security perimeter, if you were inside the perimeter looking at the building, it would be very hard to see him because like it's on a slant or whatever.
That's what they were
But
saying.
still,
Yeah.
like it's somebody's job to scope all that out and
Right.
notice that that's a security point.
Use a freaking satellite or something. Like
And
they
then
would gotta
maybe
have
even put
it.
one of their own Secret Service guys up there, you know?
I know that, yeah, there should be. That's usually what they do, right? They've got to have people like on or watching every potential vantage point. Because actually, whenever Trump came near us to Rome, he did an indoor event, and I was kind of bummed because like, okay, if it's indoor, that means there's gonna be long lines to get in, and they're gonna be screening everybody. But it makes sense because it's safer. And so when you do these outdoor events, you definitely have to take those extra precautions that like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it just seems, and especially, big red flag, those people who were like, yeah, we saw the dude up there with a gun like 2 or 3 minutes before. They were trying to flag down the police and the
Yeah, I saw that same
service and
video.
stuff. Like that's really, really fishy. Really
Yeah,
fishy
they
stuff.
said it was, I keep seeing it reported on like the police ignored him. That's not what he said, but he did say that they were like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like it seems like they didn't take it as serious as they obviously should have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, once again, I don't want to jump too hard to conclusions until we know for sure. I'm trying to see where the event was at because I kind of want to look at it.
no, I don't want to jump to conclusions either, but like the fact that there was an assassination attempt, I hardly think is a conclusion. That's more of just like obvious. Somebody pointed.
Yeah, no, that part definitely is. I'm just saying that the potential jumping to the conclusions of like it was an inside job or like the Secret Service was like enabling it or somehow aware of it. Like that's
I don't have any evidence of that. But the fact is, nobody would be surprised, and that's
exactly
a bad thing, right? Like I think even when JFK got shot, people were surprised. Like if you said the CIA had anything to do with it, it would just be such a shock to people. I'd be like, no, that's not possible. The problem is right now, today, even on the left, nobody in this country thinks it's not possible that the CIA or the FBI is behind it,
Exactly. That's a great point. Like whether it happened or not, it's like just the fact that it's so plausible and there's so much mistrust of these institutions and there's so much meddlings they have done. I mean, obviously in other countries they've done assassinations and coups, like that's well documented, but
right.
So
yeah, I mean, and when you say they, like we've done assassinations and coups, like we orchestrate that kind of stuff. Like we have a machine within the United States that knows how to make this kind of stuff happen in other countries.
Right.
You don't think?
Well, that's funny. Well, it's just funny. It's a funny difference in pronouns because, like, when you're saying "we," you're like, I identify with the evil things that the powers that be do. I guess that's why I say they, because I feel like I don't even want to associate. Like, I don't even want to say "we" because I don't. That's not. I'm patriotic. I'm American. I identify with a lot of things about this country, but I do not identify with that behavior. So I don't.
Yeah, neither do I. But it's like I'm willing to say like, like if my son in my home was committing a crime, like some crazy thing was happening in my family, I don't have to endorse the crazy thing, but I could still say we because I do feel responsible in some way. And
that's a good point.
As a man in this country, like I feel responsible in some way.
Yeah.
And the least I could do is express my disdain,
Yeah,
but I don't.
That's fair.
But I try not to distance myself. I mean, it's grammatical, right? Who cares? Like you can say they, I'll say we. But the point is, I just want to be clear that these are American institutions that are doing it, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if the CIA, the FBI, or you name the 3-letter agency did somehow orchestrate and make sure that this attempt happened today.
Yep.
It's a strange day to do it too. Like, I guess, the day before my birthday, that's just so weird.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's as good as any other. I mean, like I said too, like I don't know what percentage of his rallies are outdoor versus indoor, if there was just something logistical. I mean, obviously if it was if it was just there was no Secret Service or anything, it was just like a lone actor actually doing it, then it just came down to the fact that it was probably nearby where he lived or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we learn a lot about this guy. I saw one post going around. They think it's this. There's a guy that they think it is. Have you saw that?
Well, yeah, I saw it and actually shared one. It's like a chunkier looking guy, but you can tell by the pictures of the guy.
Looking dude.
No, I didn't see the Arab. I don't really think of the Arab, but he just looked like a neckbeard dude. But when you see the pictures of the guy who got shot, like the person on the rooftop who they killed, who had the gun, he's a lot skinnier. So I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really add up. But they're saying someone was saying they already like deleted his Telegram and stuff.
The guy's Telegram?
That's what I heard. I just heard someone say that. I'm really trying to find the freaking
I'm gonna put another photo up. This is the first time I'm seeing this particular photo. It's kind of two photos. Give me 1 second while I set it up. But it's a real close-up shot of Trump's ear. This is the first time I'm seeing this particular one.
I saw one where he was like on the ground, or not on the ground. I don't know.
Well, that one is like almost a painting. That thing is crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Yeah.
So I wish I could make this bigger. Man, look at that ear though.
I haven't seen that angle yet. Ooh, yeah.
It took a big chunk off.
Yeah, I think it got a little bit of it. God,
I don't think he should get surgery or anything. I think he should wear that scar.
That's what I'm saying. And he'll have those, man. He'll have at least 1 or 2 marks that looks like badass. Like he's got the scar. He's got the pictures.
I don't think those are grazes. I just think that was blood. I think that'll wipe right off on his face.
Oh,
it's just splatter.
Oh man, I almost went the ear.
He should make sure that you can see the ear in every speech he gives now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, God, there's so many implications about where we're gonna go from here. Obviously, the biggest thing is like there's gonna be just so much momentum in his favor now. Obviously, I mean, this definitely obviously people were already talking about this possibility. It was very possible. Tucker and everybody was talking about the possibility, and now it's a reality. It's 100% a reality, and it may not be the last time. So it's just gonna.
The way I was saying to my wife was like, for months now, I knew that this was more than a possibility. Like I knew that it was like a probability, right?
A fairly likely thing to happen.
I still was like, although it's probably something that will happen, I really hope it doesn't. And then we can just say, it probably would have happened, but thank God it didn't, right?
Right, yeah.
And now that it's happened, it's no longer just like in your head. There's like a visceral.
Yeah. I mean, this is huge. Like historically, this is massive. Like how many assassination attempts have even happened in American history? Like there are only a couple. Like there's JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt. I think there was one other one at least.
There's a Reagan.
So there were 2 actual assassinations, I believe, and then at least 2 attempts. So this means that they're basically less than I'm trying to look that up actually.
So get this, representative for Colorado State House District 2. His name is Stephen Woodrow. Okay. He tweeted out, the last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are.
I mean, at least he's admitting that like we need to be sympathetic, but yeah, obviously like in the shittiest way possible.
He called Trump the devil, and he's like, this sympathy for the devil is the last thing. No, I don't think he's saying we should be sympathetic. I think he's just acknowledging that there is sympathy for Trump and that it's the last thing this country needs.
Read it again. Can you read it again?
He said the last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are.
Well, he's saying America and we. So I think it implies that he has sympathy as well, that America has sympathy.
I think he uses we like I use we.
Well,
not
but you're
necessarily endorsing it, but acknowledging that he's an American.
I guess I see what you're saying. They're like, oh, here we go. Like, I don't agree with it. Maybe I don't have sympathy, but the country does, or something like that. Yeah, that's going to be what I'm most interested going forward is how is the left going to react? Because up to this point, like the left has just been fed so much of this stuff. They've got all this malicious energy. Like they have no limits. They have no threshold, no limits. If you ask a common like leftist, like, what would you do with Trump? Like, would you do that? Yeah, I wish he would do. I wish he'd be dead.